Karibuni na asanteni kwa kuwa nasi. The name is Nduko. I am the host on Kumbukeni. As promised, we are starting a new series. It will be called Methali ya Siku, Proverb of the Day. These will be Kiubuntu proverbs, Kiswahili, otherwise known as Kiubuntu is otherwise known as Kiswahili, or Swahili for those of you who use the English term, right? It is Kiswahili, the language of the people, the Swahili people. But then the name Swahili was given to us by the Arabs who came to the East African coast, and therefore we are refusing it, rejecting it, putting it aside, and returning to our practice of naming ourselves, which we have never lost. But for some reason, we have allowed others to name us. So we are the people of Ubuntu, and therefore this language that unites the people of Ubuntu is Ki-Ubuntu, the language of the people of Ubuntu. Today is our first day, Siku ya Kwanza. Siku is day ya Kwanza, of first, right? The first day is actually, essentially. And our first proverb is, adhabu ya kaburi aijuae maiti. Adhabu ya kaburi aijuae maiti. The translation is, the punishment of the grave is known by the corpse. Only the dead body truly knows what it feels like to endure the suffering of the grave. Outsiders may imagine, speculate, or sympathize, but they cannot fully understand what the corpse itself experiences. Maana yake, the meaning, is taabu ya dhiki ya kaburini aijuae maiti. Taabu ya dhiki ya kaburini aijuae maiti. The misery and distress of the grave is known by the corpse. How do we use this? Matumizi ya methali hii. What is the use of this proverb? Methali hii inatufahamisha kuwa aijuae taabu na dhiki ya jambo lolote ni yule aliyehusika nalo. Aijuae taabu na dhiki ya jambo lolote ni yule aliyehusika nalo. So I'll say that one more time, the full sentence, under matumizi. Methali hii inatufahamisha kuwa aijuae taabu na dhiki ya jambo lolote ni yule aliyehusika nalo. So what's the translation? This proverb informs us that the only one who knows the hardship and distress of any matter is the one who has been involved in it, the one who has experienced it. So true knowledge of suffering or hardship lies with the person who directly experiences it. No one else can completely understand or explain the depth of that pain unless they themselves are the ones enduring it. It emphasizes empathy, humility, and the importance of not trivializing someone else's struggles just because we have not lived them ourselves. And as we always do in Kumbukeni, we relate what we are learning, the lessons we grab sankofa, when we go back and get the lessons that were left by our ancestors, we bring them forth to learn how we need to move forward, to relate them to what is going on now and explain why things are the way they are now. So how can we relate this methali, this proverb, to our contemporary times, contemporary African experiences, contemporary experiences of WanaUbuntu, the children of Ubuntu? This proverb has deep resonance when applied to the lives of African people today, especially given the histories and present realities of colonization, exploitation, and resilience, right? The only person who knows the pain of the grave is the corpse, the person experiencing the time in the grave, or the entity experiencing the time in the grave. Colonial and post-colonial struggles. Outsiders may write about colonialism, slavery, and neo-colonial exploitation, but only Africans who live with the generational scars, poverty, displacement, cultural dislocation, know the punishment of the grave. It's the lived experience that carries the true weight, not academic descriptions alone. The migration and development, how does it relate to that? Africans forced into migration, whether through economic hardship, political instability, or environmental crisis, or through kidnapping, which is the original crime, know the loneliness and alienation of exile. Outsiders may sympathize, but the proverb reminds us that only the one who carries the burden feels its true weight. Global racism and exploitation. How does the proverb relate in that area? Africans in the diaspora and on the continent continue to experience systemic racism, exploitation of resources, and cultural erasure. Outsiders may read statistics, but only those enduring daily discrimination or watching their lands stripped know the depth of that struggle. This goes into the whole thing of why don't you forget, right? Why do you keep crying? Why don't you? Why are you victim? All that outsiders, foreigners, white people, Asian people, whoever else that is not us going through it talks about, right? Rich Black people who are not going through the struggles of the masses, can say these things, but they cannot feel the pain of the grave because they are not in the grave. Everyday personal struggles. How does that affect us in our everyday personal struggles? How does this proverb relate to our personal struggles? On a more individual level, the proverb also reflects contemporary African realities of poverty, unemployment, health crisis, and gender-based struggles. We have women not being respected anymore. This is the gender-based struggles we're talking about. I'm being specific to that. I'm being specific to the woman being removed from her place of honor, the woman who gives life. All these struggles, no matter how much someone else may try to empathize, no matter how much the NGOs may come and tell us about women interests and this and that, only the person, only the people enduring hunger, unemployment, and violence and dishonor know what it truly feels like. So I hope you take this proverb with you and use it to teach future generations and today's generations how we can apply it in our day-to-day lives, how we can apply it to teach this lesson and to help others understand that they not tell us about our ma'afa. We have experienced it and we only know the true pain of going through the ma'afa, through our past generations, through current generations, and the possibility of it continuing in future generations and why we are passionate about stopping it now. Asanteni, karibuni. We look forward to more proverbs. These will be daily. Methali ya Siku, the proverb of the day, will be done daily right here on Kumbukeni. Tujifunze kiubuntu. Let us teach ourselves. Let us learn kiubuntu. Siku njema, kila laheri. Asanteni.